Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And we have put together, or I should say Tyler have put together, shout out to him for putting all this film together. We are doing film study on Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston. And we are, as a table, going to try and answer the question, can Jameis Winston be that franchise quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Or will the Buccaneers need to look for a new solution in the draft or free agency to find their long-term answer under center? Let's find out.
All right, as Ryan said, that is exactly what we're going to be doing. So let's start with the film study. Starting with the deep ball, we see a lot of good and bad in this category. So let's start with the good. This is a beautiful throw on the right power line for a touchdown to Mike Evans. Fast clip there. Here comes another perfectly placed ball. This one also to Mike Evans on the left side for a touchdown. He was open, but still a very tough pass to complete. So good job by Jameis Winston. Again, this one's going to be to Mike Evans. Once again on the right side, as it was the same in the first cup. He's open there. Let him a little bit out of bounds, but not that bad. Once again, this one, however, is a bad throw. It's an overthrow to Mike Evans on the left side. And we will focus a little bit more on why this overthrow happened here. Jameis Winston kind of just got flustered, and hips were not ready, just caused the ball to go out of bounds. Now an underthrow we're about to see here. This is against the Ravens. Not much of a deep ball there, but just a bad throw. Wanted to put that in the category because it's still kind of a seam, deep ball. We're going to watch it again. Just watch. He pushes the ball, really. It wasn't much of anything at all, except just a really bad throw. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. Here is a back shoulder throw that is very good, though. That one to Cameron Brayton. You can see everything looks much better now. And just really amazing stuff there. This one, right over the shoulder of Mike Evans, beautifully placed ball, does not get much better than that. We do have a scrambling section later on in here, but this one focuses on scrambling a little bit. And then he's going to throw it on the run, deep ball to Mike Evans, perfectly placed ball. What an amazing throw. Does not get any better than that, as I continue to say. But these throws are good. Deep ball are one of his strengths. These hit as he throws here, probably should not have thrown that one. Risky throw, you should not be throwing as you're getting hit. He does that from time to time. This one just a bad throw into the hands of the Falcons defender. You don't like to see that at all. And you can realize here, it's really not on his form. His form is pretty good there. It's just overthrow right into his hands. Interception there. And one more here. This one's going to be on the sideline to Mike Evans, as we have seen a theme here. So there that is to Mike Evans. Now ball placement. Ball placement is about to begin. So we'll see the first ball placement. Here is Cameron Brate, and a good touchdown there. But Cameron Brate did get injured on that play, so didn't have to necessarily throw it there. But a solid throw. Now here we go again. This one on a corner route. Perfect throw on the sideline. Great stuff there. We're going to zoom in here and just watch everything. You see his feet. He stays calm. He's going to turn his shoulders towards his target, throw, boom, right where it has to be. Mike Evans, great catch there as well for him, give him credit. This one is a great bullet throw. Now over the middle, a little ahead of him, but not bad throw at all. Good stuff there from Jameis Winston. This one, very tight throw here. Put it perfectly over the middle, a dime there. Here we go, an out route now. Jameis throws it. Perfect throw. Looks like it gets intercepted, but it's actually caught for a first down. Great throw. We're going to zoom in here. Watch. Looks around. Looks at different targets. Throws. Boom. Perfect. Amazing stuff there. Now this one is not as much of a good throw. It's just off, really. I mean, I don't know if it was miscommunication or what, but the throw was just bad behind his receiver. Pick 6 for the Bengals there. And you can see he kind of just does not do much. It's another push there. We've been talking about that. He pushes the ball. That's what he did there. But he really just didn't. It looked like miscommunication there. All right, here we go now. This one's just even worse than the last one. Probably supposed to throw it outside more, just right in the hands of Aaron Lynch. And Aaron Lynch kind of just falls down there. Funny little fall there at the end of that clip. Now this one, also bad. We're focusing on this bad portion here. This one just thrown behind, intercepted by the Bengals defender again, who eventually does get tackled, but that cannot happen. You know what can happen, though, is throws like these. Great throw in between zones. Does not get much better than that. I mean, you see him shine in areas, and sometimes you don't. This one, another great throw over the middle. Seam ball. Really, that was Cameron Brait. Great throw. Another perfectly placed ball coming in here on a comeback route. Little in front of him, but that's what he had to do to complete that ball. So, got to give it to Jameis there. A great play. We're going to zoom in on it again. Pressure is going to be in his face. Doesn't care. He stays confident, throws that ball perfectly. So, beautiful job there. This one, not so beautiful, though. So, this one's over the middle of the field. He has him open, just misses him. Just a bad throw there. Bad ball placement. You can see his feet are going crazy, and that's really why it was. It was just the footwork.
All right, now we move to the scrambling portion of our film study here. Here you see first and goal against the Saints here. Avoids the pressure nicely. Does a great job staying alive and a beautiful display of athleticism there. Kind of the back shoulder, kind of short throw there. And he was just short, but still just a tremendous display of athleticism by Jameis there. Same game against the Saints. He rolls to his right, third down here, and you scramble, that's great, but you got to get rid of the ball. You buy yourself time, it doesn't mean much if you can't get rid of the ball. Now you see here a game against Cleveland. He scrambles, stays on his feet, and just a beautiful display of athleticism. Look at how he dove for the goal. I knew where he was on the field. That's what you like to see out of a scrambling quarterback. Now here we see 3rd and 5, trying to get the first down. Jameis steps up, uses his offensive lineman nicely, positions himself perfectly to make that throw and move the chains. Now 2nd and long here. He's got some space, and he uses it, and he's not afraid to take some hits there, although that could be dangerous down the stretch because you don't want your QB getting hurt. Now, big 4th down play, down 2 scores, 4th quarter. Got to get it here. Jameis ready to put it all on the line for his team, but he is just a few inches short as he can't get the first down, but still, you got to love the athleticism. We see that a lot from him in this scrambling portion. Now here, 1st and 10 against the Browns, 1st quarter. Under pressure, beautiful pump fake there. We'll take another look at that in a second. And really just does a nice job sliding there, getting the first down, does what he's got to do. And now here's that closer look at that pump fake. Just look at it. Beautiful, kind of jumps up as he does it, psychs out the defense, and then uses the space in front of him to get a first down and then some. Now here down in the red zone against San Francisco. Beautiful throw here. You'll see it to the back of the end zone. Hard to place the ball much better than that. Rolls out to his right, fires a dart to Cameron Brait. Can't ask for a much better play than that. Now 2nd and goal. The thing is, if you're going to scramble, you got to hold on to the ball. And here you see Jameis running to the outside. Has the ball in his left hand, only holding it with one hand, and that being his non-dominant hand. But lucky for him, his team came up with the ball. But if you're going to scramble, you got to hold on to the ball. And just holding on to it with one hand, and especially your non-dominant hand, is not a good idea. We'll watch that play again. See, he's only holding it in his left hand. Take a closer look there. And just easily gets it stripped out by the Giants defender. Has no idea what hit him, but again, he just kind of lucked out as this ended up being a touchdown for Tampa. Here's this game against the Cowboys. Sees the pressure, that part is great, but now, oh no, you don't see the defender coming, and then Jalen Smith's able to take it all the way. He did a great job at the start just seeing the 2 defenders, but then he just completely did not see that 3rd defender coming behind him, and then there's the rest for you. Fumble all the way to the end zone. Cowboys celebrate there on the fumble return for a touchdown. Now that same game against Dallas, it's 1st and goal. Down 2 scores, late 4th quarter. Need to play smart here, which that is a good throw. That's how you scramble and throw for a touchdown. Hits his favorite target, Mike Evans, on the play. Close game here in Chicago, 3rd and 10. Jameis has time, but now why do you ever need to run this far back? Seriously, I know what the score is, but I just don't really think you should ever be running that far back, giving yourself 10, 12 extra yards you got to throw, and then just an inaccurate throw there.
And now we move on to decision-making, emphasis on the poor decision-making. So in this way, he scrambles out to his right. Could have thrown the ball away right there, but he takes a sack. He needs to throw that ball away. This next play here is going to be another bad one. He's going to throw into triple coverage here on a deep ball, and that ball is tipped up, is not caught. And we're just going to watch again. Watch as he is only looking at Mike Evans on this play as a receiver. He's looking the whole way. The defense read that perfectly. They showed up right there. Now this one, he just gets kind of flustered and just throws the ball randomly. I don't really know what he was thinking there, but he just did it anyway. So now this one is another poor decision making. And this ball, he kind of threw a bullet pass. If he threw a lob pass, that would have probably been more complete, but he threw it right to the Cleveland defender, and that is incomplete. Now this one, Jameis steps back, and he's just going to scramble a little bit, kind of a little twirl. I don't know why he did that. He just threw a risky ball to the back of the end zone. Really wasn't paying attention. You cannot be making those decisions. Now this one, he kind of just throws the ball up and gets popped up and is going to intercept it. This is just kind of forced plays that Jameis Winston makes. He needs to stop forcing balls. I see him force balls too many times. Now this one, he's just kind of stutters there, and he's just gonna take a sack there. I mean, he could have thrown that ball. I mean, you can't really blame it on him. I mean, the rush was there, but it's still not very good. Now, this one is just an overthrow. I mean, Mike Evans really wasn't open there, but he kind of just threw it to the defense, and that was just a bad throw, poor decision making there, and that's what category we're in. Now this one is just, I mean, he was hit there by Khalil Mack, and that throw was just, obviously it was tipped, but he kind of just could have took a sack or maybe just thrown it away. We're going to see it again here. We're going to see Khalil Mack come in with the hit. He's going to hit his arm, and then that ball's just going to like flutter up there, and it's going to be caught by Danny Trevathan, and Danny Trevathan's going to run a little bit farther. But that, I mean, you can't completely blame that on Jameis Winston, but it could have been better. Now this play, I mean, this is just awful. He just threw it directly to to the defender. I don't even know what he was thinking there. That was just really, really bad. I mean, he wasn't even there. So, anyways, that will wrap up the decision-making part, and that'll wrap up our film. So, now it's time to go to the part that we mentioned at the beginning of the video. Is Jameis Winston a franchise quarterback? So yeah, we're gonna base what we just saw, and use what we just saw to decide and decipher whether Jameis Winston is or can be in the future a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to start?
I guess I'll start.
All right.
So we showed good and bad there. We showed what I just talked about, decision making. A lot of decision making is bad. But we also showed deep balls, and his scrambling is really good. So I'm going to talk about the good first. I'm going to go into the bad. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for you guys. I'm going to talk a little short on the good side. I want to talk about the bad side a little bit more, so I'll leave you guys on the good side. But his scrambling, he's just a really underrated scrambling, as Ryan talked about. He's just a great scrambler. He knows how to run really well and get free of defenders sometimes. So that's really good. And then deep balls, he's pretty accurate on deep balls. So that's another positive thing there for Jameis Winston. Now the problem is, I feel like Jameis Winston sometimes forces the ball too much. And a problem with quarterbacks is sometimes they're going to choose the receiver that they're going to throw to before they even start to play. I feel like Jameis Winston kind of does that a lot. He kind of feels pressured, especially this past year. It's kind of him and Fitzpatrick in a battle. Every game you're playing for your job. Every time out there, that's always in the back of your mind. You're a little bit flustered out there, so you never really you kind of makes you a little anxious. You kind of just want to pick a receiver, throw it to him. Your number one guy. Maybe it's a play that you really like, but he kind of just throws it to his number one guy sometimes too often, just forces balls into double, sometimes even triple coverage, as we talked about. So that's a big problem with Jameis Winston. Now I'm going to answer the question. I do think that Jameis Winston is actually going to be a franchise quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, I just talked about the bad things, but I think he's going to be able to clean it up this year. He's not had the pressure of Ryan Fitzpatrick on his back anymore, and this is the year that he's going to go out and show what he can do. He's got the weapons around him, at least in the receiving core. We haven't seen his running backs very well, but, receiving tight ends, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, those are all pretty good names, especially Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a huge name. Even Chris Godwin's getting a lot of hype this year, so that's going to be interesting to see how that rolls. But I do think Jameis Winston is going to be able to pick it up and is going to be a franchise quarterback for this team for maybe just a little bit longer. And I do think they need to get a better running back, but Ronald Jones or Peyton Barber, show me something else. So, what do you guys?
Ryan, you can go next.
All right, so when we look at Jameis Winston, I see a guy who is a tremendous athlete. We saw the scrambling ability, we saw the mobility, but I just need to see Jameis put it all together. He hasn't shown that to me yet. I see flashes of potential here and there, but I failed to see what I want as a finished product at a quarterback. I just see kind of bits and pieces of potential scattered across the board. I just don't see it all put together consistently. And when you look at Jameis Winston, I know Jordan kind of hinted on this. He just kind of relies on Mike Evans almost too much, which I get it. Mike Evans is a great receiver, but you can't, over-rely on him to the point where it's like, all right, where's Mike? You got to spread the ball around the field more. So I think if Jameis Winston is going to succeed and prove that he is the answer for Tampa under center, he's got to spread the ball around the field more. He's got other good targets, maybe not as good, but, you got O.J. Howard, the tight end, and then you got, of course, Chris Godwin, the other receiver. But really, you just, okay, the offensive line isn't great. Running backs could be better, but Jameis, I just think I need to see better decision-making from him. He needs to cut down on the turnovers. And really, I just haven't seen it all together. He just doesn't have me convinced yet. He has, like, there's clips on here where I say, like, oh yeah, I really like that, but then if he can't do that consistently, how much is it worth? So I really don't think Jameis Winston is going to be the long-term answer for Tampa under center if they really want to contend. Could he maybe guide them to 8-8? Sure, but if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers truly want to become a playoff team, which they haven't been in a long time, I don't think they could do that under Winston unless they absolutely upgrade the offense to where it's like he's got these superstars left and right. But, I'm not trying to sell Jameis short. He's a tremendous athlete, but I just don't see the consistency and the turnovers are too much. So I really don't think Jameis is going to be a long-term answer in Tampa. But you know what, Jameis? Prove me wrong. You got a tough division. Prove me wrong.
All right, you guys have really covered most of it here. I would really just want to point out something. There's a reason why when I was making this video that I put the decision-making category as poor, because I mixed in with the scrambling, the deep ball, and the ball placement. There were a lot of good and bad in both those categories. But what I found when I was going through all the games, all from last year, all the games from last year, I really started to realize how bad his decisions are. He's not good at making decisions really fast. And as a franchise quarterback, if you're going to be a franchise quarterback, that's one of the main things you can do.
Yep.
Like Ryan said, you see a lot of great things from Jameis Winston. You see him scrambling, diving, trying as hard as he can to get those first downs. You see perfectly placed deep balls. You can see some ball placement in between zone coverages that are just absolutely amazing. But when it comes down to it, you have to make the right decision. And he does that not enough to be a franchise quarterback. I don't think he can be a franchise quarterback and make it to that point. I think he can be a solid quarterback. He can be someone like Nick Foles who will bounce around teams and have his moments of greatness. Not saying he's going to win a Super Bowl or anything, but I'm just saying he'll have a spark, and then he'll have a bad season, and then he'll have a decent season, but that's not enough to be a franchise quarterback. I'm going to say Jameis Winston is a solid quarterback, but not enough to be a franchise quarterback for me.
I'm just going to add a little something onto my point a little bit based off of what you said. You talked about the decision-making, and personally, I think that decision-making is something that could be worked on, especially with the bringing in of a new veteran head coach, Bruce Arians. And I think that could really help a guy like Jameis Winston, who is still young and learning. He could really, that's his one major flaw that we've all pointed out. There's things in between. There's always things in between with every quarterback. His one major flaw is making decisions. And I think that if Bruce Arians can really mentor Jameis Winston just to be in an area where he feels comfortable and not have to force things and make bad decisions, I feel like he could really improve on that this year. And with more weapons around him, like Ryan also talked about, he's throwing to Mike Evans. I think he's going to spread the ball around a little bit more this year. And I think that's going to really make him calm down. No, I'm not saying the Buccaneers are going to be a great team. I actually am kind of low on them this year. But I think he's going to do okay. So,
All right, so there is our opinions on it. Let's just wrap this up here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and comment. This took a long time to make, so I'd really appreciate if you guys could just really hit that like button. Even if you don't agree with what me and Ryan are saying, you're a Buccaneers fan, you're thinking, well, Jameis Winston, no, he's my quarterback. He can't not be my franchise quarterback.
you know, as Bears fans, we feel you, because that's how I feel about Trubisky, too.
Yeah. So I just like to say that message. Just please respect us in our opinions. Make sure to subscribe, and comment. And we will see you guys later.
See you guys.